Question 1. What is the role of the prosecutor in the Hawaiian criminal justice system? A. To represent defendants in court proceedings. B. To conduct investigations and gather evidence. C. To enforce traffic laws and issue citations. D. To initiate and oversee criminal prosecutions. Correct answer. D. To initiate and oversee criminal prosecutions. Explanation. In the Hawaiian criminal justice system, the role of the prosecutor is to initiate and oversee criminal prosecutions. Prosecutors, also known as district attorneys, represent the state or government in criminal cases. They review evidence gathered by law enforcement agencies, determine whether to file charges against individuals accused of committing crimes, and present cases in court to seek convictions. Prosecutors play a vital role in upholding the rule of law, ensuring justice is served, and protecting the rights of victims and the community. Question 2. When may a law enforcement officer in Hawaii use deadly force? A. To punish individuals for non-compliance. B. To prevent the destruction of property. C. To defend against an imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury. D. To intimidate suspects into confessing to crimes. Correct answer. C. To defend against an imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury. Explanation. In Hawaii, law enforcement officers may use deadly force only when necessary to defend against an imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury to themselves or others. This principle is based on the standard of objective reasonableness, where officers are authorized to use force that is proportionate to the threat faced. Deadly force should never be used as a punitive measure or to coerce compliance. It is reserved for situations where there is an immediate risk of grave harm that cannot be reasonably mitigated by less lethal means. Question 3. What is the significance of the exclusionary rule in Hawaii's criminal justice system? A. It allows law enforcement officers to conduct searches without warrants. B. It mandates the suppression of illegally obtained evidence at trial. C. It limits the admissibility of witness testimony in court proceedings. D. It prevents defendants from invoking their right to legal representation. Correct answer. B. It mandates the suppression of illegally obtained evidence at trial. Explanation. The exclusionary rule in Hawaii's criminal justice system mandates the suppression of illegally obtained evidence at trial. This rule is based on the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution and Article 1, Section 7 of the Hawaii State Constitution, which protect individuals against unreasonable searches and seizures. If evidence is obtained in violation of these constitutional protections, such as through an illegal search or seizure, it may be excluded from trial proceedings to deter police misconduct, uphold constitutional rights, and maintain the integrity of the judicial process. Question 4. How do law enforcement agencies in Hawaii prepare for and respond to maritime emergencies? A. By disregarding safety protocols due to the unpredictable nature of the ocean. B. By collaborating with the Coast Guard and other maritime agencies. C. By prioritizing property protection over the safety of individuals. D. By conducting searches without proper equipment or training. Correct answer. B. By collaborating with the Coast Guard and other maritime agencies. Explanation. Law enforcement agencies in Hawaii prepare for and respond to maritime emergencies by collaborating with the Coast Guard and other maritime agencies. Hawaii's island geography presents unique challenges and risks related to maritime activities, including boating accidents, drownings, and vessel distress situations. By working together with specialized maritime units and agencies, law enforcement can enhance emergency response capabilities, coordinate search and rescue efforts, and ensure the safety of individuals in distress at sea. Question 5. How can law enforcement officers in Hawaii promote trust and cooperation within diverse communities? A. By imposing their own cultural norms and values on community members. B. by engaging in respectful dialogue and actively listening to community concerns. C. By avoiding interactions with community members to maintain impartiality. D. By relying solely on punitive measures to address social issues. Correct answer. B. By engaging in respectful dialogue and actively listening to community concerns. Explanation. Law enforcement officers in Hawaii can promote trust and cooperation within diverse communities by engaging in respectful dialogue and actively listening to community concerns. Effective community policing involves building positive relationships, understanding cultural nuances, and collaborating with residents to address shared priorities and challenges. By fostering open communication, demonstrating empathy, and involving community members in problem-solving efforts, officers can enhance public safety, reduce crime, and strengthen community police partnerships. Question 6. How does the use of body-worn cameras benefit law enforcement in Hawaii? A. By violating individuals' privacy rights during encounters with police. B. By providing a visual record of interactions between officers and the public. C. By obstructing officers' ability to perform their duties effectively. D. By increasing the likelihood of evidence tampering and manipulation. Correct answer. B. By providing a visual record of interactions between officers and the public. Explanation. The use of body-worn cameras benefits law enforcement in Hawaii by providing a visual record of interactions between officers and the public. Body-worn cameras can enhance transparency, accountability, and trust in policing by capturing unbiased evidence of encounters, arrests, and use of force incidents. This technology can also serve as a valuable investigative tool, providing valuable insights into the circumstances surrounding incidents and facilitating fair and impartial resolution of complaints or legal proceedings. Question 7. How do environmental factors such as volcanic activity impact law enforcement operations in Hawaii? A. By creating opportunities for outdoor recreational activities. B. By posing risks to officer safety and public welfare. C. By minimizing the need for specialized training and equipment. D. By facilitating rapid transportation and communication. Correct answer. B. By posing risks to officer safety and public welfare. Explanation. Environmental factors such as volcanic activity can impact law enforcement operations in Hawaii by posing risks to officer safety and public welfare. Volcanic eruptions, lava flows, and related hazards can threaten communities, infrastructure, and natural resources, requiring law enforcement agencies to implement evacuation measures, enforce safety zones, and assist with disaster response efforts. Officers must be prepared to navigate challenging terrain, provide support to affected populations, and collaborate with emergency management agencies to ensure the effective coordination of resources and the protection of public safety. Question 8. What is the primary goal of traffic enforcement in Hawaii? A. To generate revenue for the state through ticket fines. B. To punish drivers for minor traffic violations. C. To promote traffic safety and reduce the incidence of crashes. D. To prioritize convenience over roadway safety. Correct answer. C. To promote traffic safety and reduce the incidence of crashes. Explanation. The primary goal of traffic enforcement in Hawaii is to promote traffic safety and reduce the incidence of crashes. Law enforcement officers play a crucial role in enforcing traffic laws, educating the public about safe driving practices, and deterring behaviors that contribute to accidents, injuries, and fatalities on the roadways. By conducting proactive enforcement activities, such as speed enforcement, DUI patrols, and seatbelt compliance checks, officers can help prevent crashes, save lives, and improve overall roadway safety for residents and visitors alike. Question 9. Under Hawaii state law, what is required for a lawful arrest to occur? A. Written permission from the suspect's family or legal guardian. B. Probable cause that the suspect has committed a crime. C. A verbal warning issued by the arresting officer. D. The presence of at least 2 law enforcement officers during the arrest. Correct answer. B. Probable cause that the suspect has committed a crime. Explanation. Under Hawaii state law, a lawful arrest requires probable cause that the suspect has committed a crime. Probable cause refers to the reasonable belief, based on specific facts and circumstances, that a crime has been or is being committed by the individual to be arrested. It serves as the legal basis for initiating an arrest and is a fundamental requirement to ensure the constitutional validity of law enforcement actions. Written permission from the suspect's family or legal guardian, a verbal warning, or the presence of multiple officers are not prerequisites for a lawful arrest under Hawaii law. Question 10. Why is maintaining cultural sensitivity essential for law enforcement officers in Hawaii? A. To enforce conformity to a single cultural standard. B. To perpetuate stereotypes and biases. C. To promote mutual respect and understanding in diverse communities. D. To prioritize personal preferences over community needs. Correct answer. C. To promote mutual respect and understanding in diverse communities. Explanation. Maintaining cultural sensitivity is essential for law enforcement officers in Hawaii to promote mutual respect and understanding in diverse communities. Hawaii's population is characterized by a rich tapestry of cultural traditions, including indigenous Hawaiian culture and various ethnic and immigrant communities. By respecting cultural differences, acknowledging historical injustices, and fostering inclusive policing practices, officers can build trust, enhance cooperation, and address public safety concerns collaboratively. Cultural sensitivity helps prevent misunderstandings, reduces tensions, and promotes positive police-community relations, ultimately contributing to safer and more harmonious communities. Question 11. In the context of community-oriented policing in Hawaii, what is the significance of forming partnerships with local organizations and stakeholders? A. To increase bureaucratic hurdles in law enforcement operations. B. To exert control over community members. C. To enhance problem-solving efforts and address underlying issues. D. To limit transparency and accountability within law enforcement agencies. Correct answer. C. To enhance problem-solving efforts and address underlying issues. Explanation. Forming partnerships with local organizations and stakeholders is significant in community-oriented policing in Hawaii as it enhances problem-solving efforts and addresses underlying issues. By collaborating with community leaders, nonprofit organizations, businesses, and other stakeholders, law enforcement agencies can gain valuable insights into community needs, priorities, and concerns. These partnerships facilitate the development and implementation of effective strategies to address crime, disorder, and quality of life issues, ultimately fostering safer and more resilient communities. Question 12. Under Hawaii law, what constitutes entrapment? A. Providing opportunities for individuals to commit crimes they were predisposed to commit. B. Coercing individuals into committing crimes they would not otherwise have committed. C. Conducting lawful investigative techniques to gather evidence of criminal activity. D. Encouraging individuals to engage in lawful behavior and avoid criminal activity. Correct answer. B. Coercing individuals into committing crimes they would not otherwise have committed. Explanation. Under Hawaii law, entrapment occurs when law enforcement officers coerce individuals into committing crimes they would not otherwise have committed. It involves inducing someone to engage in unlawful conduct that they were not predisposed to commit, thus undermining the individual's freedom of choice and integrity of criminal investigations. Entrapment is prohibited to uphold the principles of fairness, justice, and the rule of law, ensuring that law enforcement actions are conducted ethically and in accordance with constitutional standards. Question 13. How does Hawaii's island geography influence law enforcement responses to natural disasters such as hurricanes? A. By providing ample time for evacuation and preparation. B. by limiting access to affected areas and complicating evacuation efforts. C. By reducing the severity of hurricanes due to oceanic influences. D. By minimizing the need for coordination with other emergency agencies. Correct answer. B. By limiting access to affected areas and complicating evacuation efforts. Explanation. Hawaii's island geography influences law enforcement responses to natural disasters such as hurricanes by limiting access to affected areas and complicating evacuation efforts. Due to the geographical isolation of the islands and the potential for severe weather impacts, law enforcement agencies must contend with logistical challenges in mobilizing resources, coordinating evacuations, and ensuring public safety. Limited evacuation routes, geographical barriers, and the need to coordinate with other emergency agencies present unique operational considerations for law enforcement in mitigating the impacts of hurricanes and protecting vulnerable populations. Question 14. What role do law enforcement officers play in promoting pedestrian safety in Hawaii? A. Issuing citations to pedestrians for jaywalking violations. B. Educating pedestrians about traffic laws and safe crossing practices. C. Prioritizing vehicular traffic over pedestrian rights of way. D. Ignoring pedestrian safety concerns to focus solely on motor vehicle enforcement. Correct answer. B. Educating pedestrians about traffic laws and safe crossing practices. Explanation. Law enforcement officers play a crucial role in promoting pedestrian safety in Hawaii by educating pedestrians about traffic laws and safe crossing practices. Pedestrian safety is a shared responsibility involving both pedestrians and motorists, and officers can contribute to public safety by raising awareness, enforcing relevant laws, and providing educational outreach to pedestrians. By emphasizing the importance of using designated crosswalks, obeying traffic signals, and remaining vigilant while crossing roadways, officers can help reduce pedestrian accidents and enhance the overall safety of Hawaii's streets and sidewalks. Question 15. In what situations would the use of less lethal force options be appropriate for law enforcement officers in Hawaii? A. To inflict punitive measures on non-compliant individuals. B. To escalate tensions and intimidate suspects. C. To address threats that do not justify the use of deadly force. D. To demonstrate authority and assert control over bystanders. Correct answer. C. To address threats that do not justify the use of deadly force. Explanation. The use of less lethal force options is appropriate for law enforcement officers in Hawaii to address threats that do not justify the use of deadly force. Less lethal force options, such as pepper spray, conducted energy devices, e.g., tasers, and impact weapons, are designed to incapacitate or control individuals without causing significant or permanent injury. They are employed in situations where there is an immediate threat to the safety of officers, suspects, or bystanders, but where the use of deadly force is not warranted. By utilizing less lethal force options judiciously and proportionately, officers can mitigate risk, de-escalate confrontations, and resolve incidents with minimal harm. Question 16. How do Geographic Information Systems, GIS, benefit law enforcement agencies in Hawaii? A. By impeding data analysis and crime mapping efforts. B. By hindering coordination with other emergency services. C. By facilitating spatial analysis and crime pattern identification. D. By limiting access to critical information during investigations. Correct answer. C. By facilitating spatial analysis and crime pattern identification. Explanation. Geographic Information Systems, GIS, benefit law enforcement agencies in Hawaii by facilitating spatial analysis and crime pattern identification. GIS technology allows officers to map crime incidents, identify hotspots, and analyze spatial relationships between criminal activities and environmental factors. This enables law enforcement agencies to allocate resources effectively, develop targeted crime prevention strategies, and enhance situational awareness in their communities. By harnessing the power of GIS, officers can make data-driven decisions, optimize patrol routes, and collaborate with other stakeholders to address crime and improve public safety outcomes. Question 17. What challenges do law enforcement agencies face when responding to natural disasters such as tsunamis in Hawaii? A. Limited access to communication technologies. B. Lack of training in emergency preparedness. C. Geographic dispersion of resources and personnel. D. Absence of community involvement in disaster planning. Correct answer. C. Geographic dispersion of resources and personnel. Explanation. Law enforcement agencies face the challenge of geographic dispersion of resources and personnel when responding to natural disasters such as tsunamis in Hawaii. The unique island geography of Hawaii presents logistical challenges in deploying personnel, equipment, and supplies to affected areas in a timely manner. Limited transportation infrastructure, rugged terrain, and the need to coordinate with other emergency services complicate response efforts and require careful planning and coordination. By addressing these challenges through effective resource management, mutual aid agreements, and interagency collaboration, law enforcement agencies can enhance their capacity to respond to disasters and safeguard the well-being of Hawaii's residents and visitors. Question 18. How does Hawaii law define the concept of reasonable suspicion in the context of law enforcement activities? A. A subjective belief that a crime has been committed. B. A hunch or intuition without factual basis. C. Specific, articulable facts that justify a brief investigatory stop. D. Certainty beyond a reasonable doubt of an individual's guilt. Correct answer. C. Specific, articulable facts that justify a brief investigatory stop. Explanation. In Hawaii law, reasonable suspicion is defined as specific, articulable facts that justify a brief investigatory stop by law enforcement officers. It is a lower standard than probable cause, but requires more than a mere hunch or intuition. To establish reasonable suspicion, officers must be able to point to objective facts and circumstances that lead them to suspect that criminal activity may be afoot. This standard serves as a legal basis for temporary detention and investigative inquiries, allowing officers to conduct brief stops and limited searches when there are reasonable grounds to suspect wrongdoing. Unlike probable cause, which requires a higher level of certainty, reasonable suspicion does not necessitate evidence sufficient to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Question 19. What considerations should law enforcement officers in Hawaii take into account when using firearms in maritime environments? A. The potential impact of saltwater exposure on firearm functionality. B. The need to use firearms as signaling devices during maritime emergencies. C. The risk of ricochet and collateral damage in confined spaces. D. The legality of discharging firearms over bodies of water. Correct answer. A. The potential impact of saltwater exposure on firearm functionality. Explanation. Law enforcement officers in Hawaii should consider the potential impact of saltwater exposure on firearm functionality when operating in maritime environments. Exposure to saltwater can corrode firearm components, degrade performance, and compromise reliability, posing a significant safety risk to officers and others. Therefore, officers should take appropriate measures to protect their firearms from saltwater exposure, such as utilizing corrosion-resistant materials, conducting regular maintenance, and employing waterproof storage solutions. By mitigating the effects of saltwater on firearms, officers can ensure the effectiveness and operational readiness of their weapons in maritime operations, enhancing both officer safety and mission success. Question 20. How can law enforcement agencies in Hawaii address challenges related to language barriers in multicultural communities? A. By enforcing English-only policies to streamline communication. B. By hiring bilingual officers and providing language training. C. By disregarding non-English speakers' rights in legal proceedings. D. By relying solely on interpreters from outside agencies. Correct answer. B. By hiring bilingual officers and providing language training. Explanation. Law enforcement agencies in Hawaii can address challenges related to language barriers in multicultural communities by hiring bilingual officers and providing language training. Hawaii's diverse population includes individuals who speak languages other than English, necessitating effective communication strategies to ensure equitable access to law enforcement services and resources. By recruiting officers with proficiency in multiple languages and offering language training programs, agencies can enhance their capacity to interact with non-English speakers, conduct interviews, gather information, and provide assistance in culturally and linguistically appropriate ways. This proactive approach promotes community trust, improves public safety outcomes, and fosters inclusivity within law enforcement agencies. Question 21. How does Hawaii's island geography impact the logistics of emergency evacuation procedures during volcanic eruptions? A. By providing multiple evacuation routes for residents. B. By limiting access to safe evacuation zones due to lava flows. C. By minimizing the need for coordination with other emergency services. D. By reducing the severity of volcanic eruptions in populated areas. Correct answer. B. By limiting access to safe evacuation zones due to lava flows. Explanation. Hawaii's island geography impacts the logistics of emergency evacuation procedures during volcanic eruptions by limiting access to safe evacuation zones due to lava flows. Volcanic eruptions can produce fast-moving lava flows that pose significant hazards to nearby communities, obstructing evacuation routes and complicating rescue efforts. Law enforcement agencies must coordinate closely with other emergency services to implement evacuation plans, establish safe zones, and ensure the safety of residents in affected areas. By understanding the unique challenges posed by volcanic activity in Hawaii, agencies can develop effective strategies to protect lives and property during emergencies. Question 22. How do body-worn cameras benefit law enforcement officers in Hawaii? A. By allowing officers to manipulate evidence in their favor. B. By providing an objective record of interactions with the public. C. By hindering transparency and accountability within agencies. D. By reducing the need for comprehensive report writing. Correct answer. B. By providing an objective record of interactions with the public. Explanation. Body-worn cameras benefit law enforcement officers in Hawaii by providing an objective record of interactions with the public. These devices capture video and audio footage of law enforcement encounters, offering valuable evidence in investigations, court proceedings, and internal reviews. Body-worn cameras promote transparency, accountability, and professionalism by documenting officers' actions and ensuring compliance with departmental policies and procedures. Additionally, they can help de-escalate confrontations, deter misconduct, and enhance public trust in law enforcement. By leveraging body-worn camera technology, officers can strengthen community relations, improve officer safety, and enhance the overall effectiveness of policing in Hawaii. Question 23. Under what circumstances would the use of deadly force be justified for law enforcement officers in Hawaii? A. To punish individuals for non-compliance with orders. B. To resolve nonviolent disputes between citizens. C. To protect themselves or others from imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm. D. To intimidate suspects into confessing to crimes. Correct answer. C. To protect themselves or others from imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm. Explanation. The use of deadly force would be justified for law enforcement officers in Hawaii to protect themselves or others from imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm. Deadly force is the most severe level of force authorized by law and should only be used as a last resort when lesser means are insufficient to neutralize a threat. In accordance with legal standards and departmental policies, officers must objectively assess the level of threat posed by a suspect and respond proportionately to mitigate the danger. By exercising sound judgment and adhering to established protocols, officers can uphold the sanctity of life while ensuring public safety in critical situations. Question 24. What are the implications of the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine in Hawaii law? A. It allows law enforcement officers to conduct warrantless searches without probable cause. B. It prohibits the admission of evidence obtained through illegal means or violations of constitutional rights. C. It requires suspects to prove their innocence beyond a reasonable doubt. D. It grants immunity to law enforcement officers from civil lawsuits. Correct answer. B. It prohibits the admission of evidence obtained through illegal means or violations of constitutional rights. Explanation. The fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine in Hawaii law prohibits the admission of evidence obtained through illegal means or violations of constitutional rights. This legal principle, derived from the Fourth Amendment's protection against unreasonable searches and seizures, extends to evidence derived from unlawfully obtained evidence, the poisonous fruit. In essence, if the primary evidence, the tree, is tainted by illegality, any evidence obtained as a result of that illegality is also inadmissible in court. The doctrine serves to deter law enforcement misconduct, safeguard constitutional rights, and uphold the integrity of the criminal justice system in Hawaii. Question 25. How can law enforcement officers in Hawaii maintain ethical conduct and professionalism when faced with public scrutiny? A. By disregarding community feedback and criticism. B. By prioritizing personal interests over public trust. C. By adhering to departmental policies and codes of conduct. D. By avoiding transparency and accountability measures. Correct answer. C. By adhering to departmental policies and codes of conduct. Explanation. Law enforcement officers in Hawaii can maintain ethical conduct and professionalism when faced with public scrutiny by adhering to departmental policies and codes of conduct. Upholding ethical standards and professional integrity is essential for fostering public trust, promoting accountability, and enhancing community relations. Officers should demonstrate transparency, honesty, and respect in their interactions with the public, regardless of external pressures or criticism. By consistently applying ethical principles and upholding the values of the profession, officers can contribute to the legitimacy and effectiveness of law enforcement in Hawaii. Question 26. What factors should law enforcement officers consider when investigating traffic accidents on Hawaii's highways? A. The need to prioritize convenience over safety for motorists. B. The impact of weather conditions on road surfaces and visibility. C. The legality of speeding to catch up with fleeing suspects. D. The discretion to ignore traffic laws in emergency situations. Correct answer. B. The impact of weather conditions on road surfaces and visibility. Explanation. Law enforcement officers should consider the impact of weather conditions on road surfaces and visibility when investigating traffic accidents on Hawaii's highways. Hawaii's diverse climate, which includes periods of heavy rain, strong winds, and fog, can affect driving conditions and increase the risk of accidents. Officers must assess how weather-related factors, such as wet roads, reduced visibility, and slippery surfaces, may have contributed to a collision and adjust their investigative approach accordingly. By documenting weather conditions at the scene, gathering witness statements, and analyzing physical evidence, officers can reconstruct the sequence of events leading to the accident and determine liability. Prioritizing road safety and accident prevention is paramount in ensuring the well-being of motorists and reducing the incidence of traffic-related injuries and fatalities in Hawaii. Question 27. How can law enforcement agencies in Hawaii address the challenge of recruiting and retaining qualified officers in a competitive job market? A. By lowering standards for recruitment to attract more applicants. B. By offering competitive salaries, benefits, and career advancement opportunities. C. By disregarding diversity and inclusion initiatives in hiring practices. D. By reducing investments in training and professional development programs. Correct answer. B. By offering competitive salaries, benefits, and career advancement opportunities. Explanation. Law enforcement agencies in Hawaii can address the challenge of recruiting and retaining qualified officers in a competitive job market by offering competitive salaries, benefits, and career advancement opportunities. In today's competitive landscape, attracting and retaining top talent requires agencies to provide competitive compensation packages, including competitive salaries, comprehensive benefits, and opportunities for career advancement and professional development. Additionally, agencies can enhance recruitment efforts by emphasizing the unique benefits of serving in Hawaii, such as its diverse cultural environment, opportunities for specialized training, and fulfilling community engagement experiences. By investing in their personnel and creating a supportive work environment, agencies can attract and retain qualified officers committed to serving the people of Hawaii with professionalism and dedication. Question 28. How can law enforcement agencies in Hawaii promote trust and cooperation with indigenous Hawaiian communities? A. By disregarding the cultural heritage and traditions of indigenous Hawaiians. B. By adopting a paternalistic approach to community engagement. C. By incorporating cultural sensitivity and respect into policing practices. D. By enforcing strict law and order policies without regard for community feedback. Correct answer. C. By incorporating cultural sensitivity and respect into policing practices. Explanation. Law enforcement agencies in Hawaii can promote trust and cooperation with indigenous Hawaiian communities by incorporating cultural sensitivity and respect into policing practices. Indigenous Hawaiians have a rich cultural heritage and traditions that are integral to their identity and way of life. By recognizing and honoring these cultural values, officers can establish meaningful connections with community members, build trust, and foster collaborative partnerships. Agencies should prioritize cultural competency training, engage with cultural advisors and community leaders, and involve indigenous Hawaiians in decision-making processes that affect their communities. By demonstrating empathy, understanding, and respect for indigenous perspectives, law enforcement can enhance community relations, improve public safety outcomes, and promote social justice in Hawaii. Question 29. What role does cultural competence play in addressing domestic violence within Hawaii's multicultural communities? A. It exacerbates cultural stereotypes and biases, leading to ineffective interventions. B. It enables law enforcement officers to dismiss domestic violence as a cultural norm. C. It enhances the ability to recognize and respond to cultural factors influencing domestic violence dynamics. D. It perpetuates systemic discrimination against survivors of domestic violence. Correct answer. C. It enhances the ability to recognize and respond to cultural factors influencing domestic violence dynamics. Explanation. Cultural competence plays a crucial role in addressing domestic violence within Hawaii's multicultural communities by enhancing the ability to recognize and respond to cultural factors influencing domestic violence dynamics. Each culture may have unique beliefs, norms, and practices related to gender roles, family structures, and interpersonal relationships that impact how domestic violence is perceived, reported, and addressed. Law enforcement officers with cultural competence can navigate these complexities sensitively and effectively, tailoring interventions to meet the diverse needs of survivors while respecting their cultural backgrounds. By engaging with community resources, providing culturally appropriate support services, and collaborating with cultural liaisons, officers can empower survivors, hold perpetrators accountable, and prevent further harm. Culturally competent responses to domestic violence contribute to safer, more inclusive communities where all individuals receive the support they need to thrive. Question 30. How does Hawaii's island geography influence law enforcement strategies for wildlife conservation and environmental protection? A. By facilitating unrestricted access to remote conservation areas. B. By minimizing the impact of human activities on fragile ecosystems. C. By posing challenges in patrolling and monitoring vast marine and terrestrial environments. D. by exempting law enforcement agencies from enforcing environmental regulations. Correct answer. C. By posing challenges in patrolling and monitoring vast marine and terrestrial environments. Explanation. Hawaii's island geography influences law enforcement strategies for wildlife conservation and environmental protection by posing challenges in patrolling and monitoring vast marine and terrestrial environments. Hawaii's diverse ecosystems, including coral reefs, rainforests, and coastal habitats, are home to unique flora and fauna found nowhere else on Earth. However, the geographical dispersion of these ecosystems across multiple islands presents logistical challenges for law enforcement agencies tasked with protecting them. Limited resources, rugged terrain, and expansive oceanic areas make it difficult to effectively patrol and monitor for illegal activities such as poaching, habitat destruction, and pollution.